How to become sovereign in thought. As you progress on the path of mind elevation, you'll gradually step into the realm of quote-unquote free thinking. Now, I actually dislike the term free thinking because it's a very vague concept. It's almost like a generic term that could be applied to any structure of information, so long as it was somewhat alternative to mainstream thought. Generally, my experience has been that when people label their ideas as free thought and tell you the things like liberate your mind, what they really mean is follow my ideology and eventually become a missionary in my cause. So it's not so much about liberating your mind, more so than changing masters. To avoid that association, I've used the term sovereign thought instead. It's based off some brief studies I've done in classical law. When you think of the word sovereign and what it connotates, you'll get a feel for where I'm going. To be sovereign in thought, think of your life as a domain or a kingdom, and think of yourself as the king or queen. Since you govern over both yourself and that within your circumference, you're responsible for forming laws and culture as you deem fit. In like manner, every man is sovereign of his own life space, and although we should share our ideas, we have no right to force or impose our ways upon another. Now, there's a lot more to this, and since we're only introducing the concept here, let's stick to the fundamentals of it and get into the more advanced implications at a later time. The fundamental science is to be yourself, but that sounds so trite, doesn't it? All the time we hear people say, well, just be yourself. Rarely do we hear anyone go further in depth. A friend of mine helped me to understand this by putting it into the context of a trinity. The 3 steps in this order were to 1, know yourself, 2, be yourself, and 3, love yourself. It's self-evident that you can't be yourself unless you know who you truly are. And you can never love yourself, or anyone else for that matter, unless you're being yourself in a very genuine and authentic way. You can begin, or if you've already begun, you can amplify the discovery of self-knowledge by eliminating conditioning. And you can eliminate conditioning by removing its sources. Now, a primary source of conditioning today is television programming. And so you can enhance self-knowledge by fasting from the TV itself. Now, I know for a lot of people, television is their primary mode of activity, even though it's not really activity at all, because you're just sitting there. And I know that some people see television as a form of relaxation, even though it's not relaxation at all, because the conscious and subconscious mind is being constantly fed a barrage of information. If the basic idea of abstaining from television for, let's say, 2 weeks' time doesn't sound right and exact to you, check out the segment from my upcoming book on the bonus disc. It's a clip from the book's introduction, where I delve into the neuroscience and commercialism or corporate dominance involved, and then put all of that in the context of spirituality and self-empowerment. Basically, your mind is like a holy temple. It's the foundation that controls a very large portion of how your life experience unfolds. So it's only logical that we be cautious about what we feed it. In this section, I even give television a new name so that we can reference it from the framework of the deeper science involved. Also on the bonus disc, there's a section called Recommended Scrolls, where a friend and I share some books we've read and build on why they're so powerful. One of the recommendations in there is a joint called 4 Arguments for the Elimination of Television, which is an entire book on why TV shouldn't even exist. The arguments the author makes deal with the inherent nature of the machine itself, not the context of any particular program. So no matter what you watch when you turn it on, we'll give you some things to consider. Now, to begin or enhance self-love, you have to appreciate your uniqueness and forgive yourself for the mistakes that you've made in the past. First, realize that in all of creation, there is only one you. While somebody else can have your name or any of your other attributes, nobody else can be you. In all of the planet Earth and in all of the entire universe, you're a unique creature. You have a unique set of experiences, a unique set of talents and skills, a unique perspective, and a unique contribution to give to the world. That in itself is an amazing thing. You must also learn to let go of your past and come to forgive yourself for what you've done. You have to learn to accept what's happened, accept the fact that you can't change what happened, and realize that, at the time, you did the best that you could. This is a difficult